Hello, my name is Deepak and this is a screencast for the course of DevOps CSC 519. So this screencast will show us how to use Ansible to set up a Jenkins server and set up a job on that server and also run the build of the job at least for once before the whole setup is done. So over here I have created two vagrant VMs. One of them is the Jenkins VM and one of them is the VM on which the Ansible is installed. I have already started both the VMs and I have logged into the one which contains the Ansible installation. So you can see the vagrant file of the Jenkins VM on the other one. So I can just go ahead and run the Ansible script which will install the Jenkins server and set up all the required packages for the successful running and building of a job on the Jenkins server. Before that, I have a couple of files on this machine which will be useful for the working of the Ansible script. One of them is the jenkins.yml, which is the script itself. Then there is a j inventory, which is the inventory file for the script, and the inventory file contains the other host, which is the one with the Jenkins. So I can just show you the IP address of the Jenkins VM, and it is 192.168.233.10, which is reflected over here. And another one is the jenkins.xml. This file is the configuration file for the Jenkins server itself, and this will be copied onto the Jenkins VM via the Ansible script. And one of them is job.xml, which is the configuration file of the job which will be configured in the Jenkins on the Jenkins, and this configuration file will be used to configure that job. So I'll just go ahead and run the script. So it is picking up the nodes from the J inventory file, which contains which contains the information of the other virtual machine. So this is the script that is running right now. So when it's trying to get the Jenkins file, it is doing this, which is a required step for installation of Jenkins onto a VM or onto any machine. So this is where we get the information of Jenkins and the key of to access the Jenkins server from this URL, and it is added onto the apt get cache, and then it also sets up the required files from the Jenkins URL for the setup of the Jenkins server. And after that, we update the cache before installing all the required packages which are mentioned here. And after that, we do an installation of only the packages. It's not Jenkins. I have removed the installation of Jenkins and put it over here. So over here, only the packages are installed, which comes from here, which is GCC, Git core, and JRE and JDKs. And again, after the installation of all the required packages, it goes on to updating the cache again, so that the installation of Jenkins can run smoothly. And after that, I have to clone a repository from Git, which contains the project or the code which has to be built. So I just clear the if there is a directory present with the same name, I just clear the directory so that the git clone can run smoothly. and then I go ahead and configure the Jenkins job by copying the job.xml that I showed over here into this into into the Jenkins folder from here and here, and I can make a directory. It's the build directory is one of the directory structure, one of the directory in the directory structure of the Jenkins job. For every job, Jenkins itself creates a directory structure which is required for Jenkins to store the details regarding that job, and build is one of those directories. And next build number is a file which contains the build number for the job, which Jenkins refers to when trying to build a new job or build an existing job and give a build number to it. And I changed the ownership of that folder, the whole folder of jobs, to Jenkins because we are running on -s, that is sudo. So Jenkins will not get access to the folder if we do not change the ownership. Then I restart Jenkins so as to allow Jenkins to pick up the installation of the file, or the copying of the project, and I wait for about 60 seconds to let Jenkins restart, and I download the Jenkins CLI jar, which can be used for many purposes including creation of jobs and running the build of the job. And I run the build of the job using the Jenkins.cli jar, and that is the whole code. And currently it's installing the packages which are installed mentioned over here, and it takes about a couple of minutes. So I'll just go ahead and pause the recording until that is done. And yeah, by the way, I'm using Kazam for helping me record the screencast. Thank you, Kazam, for that. It has been about 20 minutes of installation, and we have installed all the required packages, updated the apt cache again, and installed Jenkins once more. Installed Jenkins for the first time. And so now I have just cleared the JSP demo project from the home directory, and then I have gone ahead and checked out the JSP demo project from GitHub, and now I'm in the process of configuring Jenkins, which consisted of the process of copying the folders or copying the config files into the proper locations, and creating the build folder as well as the next build number file with number of 1. And now the restarting of Jenkins has taken place, and we are going to wait for about 60 seconds so that Jenkins can be up again and can trigger the build for the Jenkins. So since Jenkins has been installed, we can try and check whether we can see Jenkins on the browser. So I'll just do a ifconfig on this machine, which is the machine on which Jenkins is installed, and it's going ahead with downloading of Jenkins CLI and running the JSP demo job. So this gives us the IP of 192.168.233.10, and the Ansible script is completed running its installation. So I'll just go ahead and log in into the Jenkins, which runs on port 8080, and it should take us directly to the Jenkins home folder or the Jenkins page, where we should be able to see a Jenkins job of JSP demo, which has already completed a build. Yes, I can see a JSP demo project, and it has already completed a build, which is shown by the red dot. It shows that the build has failed, but yeah, it has at least completed a build. So this is how we set up Jenkins to run a project and build a project remotely using Ansible scripts. Thank you for watching the video.